Hello and welcome to the third annual X2 conference here at the fantastic Anantara Riverside in Bangkok. I'm joined now by Jeff Schumacher, who is one of the delegates here. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it.
So, Jeff, if you wouldn't mind, give us a background on what you do and what the business that you're involved in is.
Sure, I'd be happy to. AWA, or American Worldwide Agencies, is one of the founding members of X2. We also joined the critical and the projects teams when they became available. Our company is rather diverse. We have a focus on Australia and New Zealand, as well as Asia. We run our own groupage containers down into Australia and New Zealand, along with air freight consolidations twice a week. We have offices in New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, Long Beach, and Los Angeles. Much of our development has taken place as a result of X2. We've moved, the critical has been a result of relationships created through the elite conferences, visits 2 or 3 years ago by our owner and commercial director, Graham Burford. So since then we've continued to branch out. The projects team, we've brought on additional people in order to bolster that, and that has gone swimmingly. And we have a variety of focuses. We cater to some niches, and we also stay away from things that we don't understand.
So your enthusiasm for the business is obvious. Now, this is your first conference, so how do you feel it's all going?
It's absolutely amazing. I have worked with a variety of networks over the years, and the people that I've met here and the people that I've already had relationships with, it's just a different breed. It's people very similar to myself who want truth, who want transparency, and who want communication. They want timeliness. And everybody that I've worked with, to a man, every single one has provided me that. And what that's allowed me to do and allowed our company to do is develop more business, because the more trust you have, the more transparency you have, the more opportunities you can take advantage of. And I cannot possibly describe, the numbers are mind-boggling as far as what we've put in for an investment and what we've gotten out of it. I mean, the return on investment is exponential, absolutely exponential.
It seems the aim of the conference at X2 is to grow and strengthen bonds and relationships within the business. How do you feel about also the social side? Because as well as business, it's obviously important to get on with people and see them in their natural environment as well.
I agree with you completely, and what's really, I don't know if I would use the word funny, but what's interesting is really it's the social functions that actually create the relationships far more than the one-on-ones. The one-on-ones are nice for getting down to some minutiae and some details, and perhaps being introduced to people that you didn't know previously or hadn't run into at a social function. But actually, if you look at my schedule and you look, my schedule, I was looking forward to, let's say, 10 out of 20 meetings that I had scheduled, I was really looking forward to it, about developing business and making sure that, any problems were resolved and what have you. But it was always, but through the social aspects, through the X2 World Cup, that was absolutely amazing. I wanted to die, but it was just glorious.
I think you did very, very well. I've got to say, big respect.
Not
to
too shabby for a big boy, basically all of the networking already took place. So, those people that I was going to speak to, we kind of close the deal, shall we say, with the one-to-one. But I mean, these people are becoming my friends. These are people that we partied hard together. There's stories to tell. That you take back and you go, hey man, I need a rate for this, and hey, how's your knee healing from that?
So obviously one of the main events of the X2 conference this year was the Football World Cup, and it seemed like, as well as enjoying that, the cocktails night was a great event to loosen people up. And of course that's where people have got something else in their hands rather than a pen and paper or their phones to take details. Of course that's successful as well. So it's more or less just the one-on-ones are kind of more just solidifying it and being a confirmation.
Absolutely, or it's an opportunity for people that you may not have run into previously, or latecomers to the conference. It's an opportunity to get together with them as well. So it's kind of the icing on the cake, but the cake is the social part. It really is. That's where you meet people and you go, oh hey, yeah, I know you, and you go on the side and you have a beer together, and and that's where you wind up discussing the things And that's also where you get a feel for people. You can just see whether or not somebody's telling the truth or whether they're lying.
Well, of course, it's better eyes to eyes than on a computer screen. Probably that's the advantage.
Absolutely. You know, there is no tone in text. There is no tone in email. And of course, with the cultural differences, and people may or may not have a solid grasp upon the English language, you don't necessarily get the understanding of how a person's personality is. I can give you a perfect example of that. Would you like one?
Yeah, for sure.
Kim with Gate for EU, we've been doing a lot of work with her, and on the email she comes across so direct as to be almost stern. And then when we met with her, I was like, this is a wonderful woman and an absolute joy to be around. And it took the tone from the email and completely flipped it on its head.
And now, obviously, now that you've met Kim, you know her emails may be harsh, but you've seen her eye to eye, you know that she's a lovely person.
Absolutely.
You know that it wasn't that stern. It was
Exactly. So there's those little subtleties like that really make the difference. And you know what else? It makes me, and I know this works for everybody else, it makes me want to work harder for these people. Because they're not just an agent that I got off of a list. Okay? These are people that I've developed relationships with now, that I've enjoyed some social activities with, have developed some true friendships, some great memories, absolutely phenomenal memories, and that I know I can trust these people. I know that when I come to them with something, I'm not going to get some partial answer. I'm not going to get something I can't work with. They're going to work as hard for me as I'm working for them, and it's absolutely brilliant. In fact, we've already got a 20-ton shipment out of one of those relationships. 20 tons of air freight from having a beer.
Excellent. Now, I'm sure a man of your experience has been to many conferences before. How does the X2 conference experience rate against those?
There's no comparison. I mean, this is just it's an entirely different entity. You just can't compare. The other ones are grab bags. It's what you got for me. What you got for me. What can I take from you? And instead here it's how can we work together, or can we work together, and being totally honest, not just saying oh yeah, I want all your freight, but going, well, what do you have and how can I help you with it? Is it a good fit, or perhaps you should go with the other fellows in the US, or perhaps I should go with the other fellows in Amsterdam. And the nice thing is that I've spoken with quite a few of them. The agents that are in the same country know one another and can even work with one another. I actually had a shipment that they had to work with one another, and it was seamless, it was smooth, it was simple. We took a huge problem, resolved it quickly, and made the customer happy.
So Jeff, I guess what we're saying is that X2 is a revolutionary way of networking in the conference world.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no other way to describe it, because I don't believe there's ever been anything like it on Earth. Ever.
Well, Jeff, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us, and enjoy the rest of the X2 conference. Cheers.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.